Pro Group Management. Workers' comp that works for you.
Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the broadcast today, Randi Thompson joins us. She's the Nevada State Director for the National Federation of Independent Business. Here for the whole show on an all-new Nevada Newsmakers.
Ring in the holidays with $350,000 big holiday extravaganza at Carson Valley Inn. Over 1,000 winners. Weekly cash, free play, and up to $10K in cash every Saturday. And 2 grand prize drawings. Win up to $20,000 in cash. 'Tis the season for winning big at the Carson Valley Inn.
Retail's impact on Nevada's economy? Enormous. 8,600 businesses, large and small, employing 145,000 workers. And last fiscal year, retail paid tax on nearly $60 billion in sales. We're the Retail Association of Nevada. We support retail, we help it grow, and we mean business.
RANNV.org.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Oh, what fun it is to win during the $100,000 Christmas giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Up to $17,000 in cash and free play giveaways each week. And over $20,000 in giveaways on New Year's Eve, including up to $10K in cash. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Nevada Newsmakers Studio is located at the headquarters of the Nevada Trucking Association. Motion and purpose are a truck's greatest virtue.
This is Nevada Newsmakers with host Sam Shad, a no-holds-barred political forum. Now, from the Nevada Newsmakers broadcast headquarters, here is Sam Shad.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're always pleased to welcome back to the program Randi Thompson. She is the Nevada State Director of the National Federation of Independent Business. Welcome.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
It's nice to have you. Joe Lombardo, Governor. What does this mean for business?
Good. Especially after 4 years of Sisolak. But it's going to be a challenging legislature. You've got obviously a supermajority in the Democrat Assembly, and you're only one vote away from a supermajority in the Senate. So you're not going to get a lot done. I hope that the governor gets along well with Leader Cannizzaro and Speaker Yeager, to maybe do some stuff that's good for Nevada. Instead of partisan stuff. We got a lot of that last couple sessions, even with a Democrat governor. But I don't think he's going to get a lot done. But I haven't really seen yet what his priorities are. Obviously, law enforcement's big for him. And having talked to Mr. Yeager a couple of months ago about some of the criminal justice reforms that were passed over the past two sessions need to be culled back a bit. I think Yeager's open to some of that stuff. He's realized it didn't quite work out as he'd hoped.
But you know, that's typical though. When you get a big bill passed, there's going to be some overreach, and then that's a very good thing when people are able to realize. And I think Steve Yeager is going to be a very interesting speaker. More so than perhaps we've seen in the last couple of sessions.
He's very approachable. He's a very nice guy. He really is. He's very pleasant. I really like him.
And you know, it's amazing. If I text him, I get a text back. Yeah. It's wonderful.
Yeah, I have this CEO group in Reno that's pretty conservative, and he met with us in August, and I'm like, this is a conservative group, but he was great. He got along. I mean, he's willing to bridge a gap anywhere there is one. I think he'd be a good speaker.
Sheriff Lombardo attended an event at the Grand Sierra not too long ago, in the last week or so actually, and he made a point in his speech that there was going to be a need to work across the aisle, and that he intended to do that because that was going to be the way to get things done. It was interesting that he was being referred to as the education governor. You know, I've never heard of anybody who said, I'm against education and got elected.
Right. Yeah, and I think Kenny Gwynn and Sandoval kind of got that already, didn't they? And yet, I mean, what's cool about him is he's very much into the career technical. He sees the pathway to a career, not necessarily a pathway to college. I think you're going to see a lot more support of the charter schools and career college, career schools, not necessarily a four-year college, which would be nice. But even then, Sisolak said he was going to do that as well, and he never really did. I mean, he was a former regent. You would think he was a lot more sympathetic to the community colleges, but that's a big lift right now. Trying to kind of separate community colleges from four-year colleges is a big lift in the legislature.
Yeah, and it's been an ongoing discussion I'm saying nicely, discussion for a long time.
Yes.
And also the Nevada State College wanted to change their name has also been an interesting conversation. Although the president of that college is quite a striking person. She was on the show and very impressive.
Oh, good. Okay.
I think that the advantage that Lombardo has is that he's already, in effect, a sheriff, a CEO. And has dealt, Sig Rogich said this on the program, when Lombardo first started running, that he has experience in dealing with unions, he has experience in dealing with people, all the issues that come with running a giant organization, which is Las Vegas Metro. So it'll be interesting to see how that translates into governance.
When he made the announcement of Ben Kiekefer, I texted one of his advisors and said, that's a good choice. I don't see Ben as being holden to any of the particular political consultants in this state. And his consultant says, Joe is a CEO. He is not going to pick anybody that's beholden to anybody. He is a CEO, and he's approaching this as a CEO. So I can see that CEO mentality is definitely filtering down into all aspects of this.
I thought Ben Kiekefer was a good choice just because of the experience from being a reporter for the Reno Gazette-Journal and the AP, then doing public affairs for Health and Human Services.
And a governor. Yeah.
And the governor.
Governor, yeah.
And then actively in the legislature, and then Gaming Commission. I mean, this is quite the resume.
Yeah. And his IFC experience. He knows the budget, I'd say probably is just as good as an Andrew Klinger does, if not better now. And I think that's it was really a good move to bring Ben over.
Let's talk about the election.
Do we really have to?
Yes, ma'am.
I mean, there's just not enough caffeine in the world to get me through another election.
Well,
or alcohol, maybe.
Don't worry. The next one's only 5 minutes away.
Oh, I know. God. I literally got a text this week from somebody saying, hey, somebody wants to run for assembly. I'm like, can you at least give me a month? Jeez. Actually, it'd only been a month. Okay. Anyway.
A good friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, said to me that they got a thing on the race in Georgia where you could split your donation between the Democrat and Jackie Rosen if you donated. And I thought, wow, that's really a stretch to go out there that far.
Yep.
But the point I was going to make was that a lot of Republicans are saying that the Republicans stayed home in this election cycle. Do you believe that's true?
I've seen some numbers. I think the Drew Johnson race down in Vegas is a good example of.
Boy, he was so close.
Oh yeah, 350 something. Yeah.
And didn't challenge the result, which
Yeah.
I thought was even more impressive.
Yeah, but he claims there's like 18,000 people in his district that just didn't vote because they just didn't trust the election. So that's a biggie. And you had a lot of the Trump people that supported Lombardo because they held their nose and voted for him. I know a lot of those folks that just said, "I'll vote for Lombardo just because he beats the alternative." But they were not enthusiastic about Lombardo. But then they also weren't enthusiastic about Laxalt. So you've got a broad spectrum of beliefs, and you've got a broad spectrum of candidates. And there was quite some fights between the Lombardo-Laxalt campaign on Lombardo was really getting out independents and conservative-leaning Democrats, and that was pissing off the Laxalt people because those are Mastro voters, and they're like, well, we're going after our own voters. So there wasn't a lot of unity in this ticket, and there isn't a lot of unity in the party, and every race is different. I mean, I thought we could have actually picked up some of those Senate races. I really thought April Becker could have picked up that seat, but every race comes down to who that candidate is. And we have to just look at that. We can't just say there was this red wave that didn't show up. Every candidate had to get their own voters out. It comes down to every race.
All right, but I mean, the culinary was bragging about the number of people that they turned out on the Democratic side. It just seems like the get out the vote on the Republican side was not nearly as close.
Yep, that and understanding ballot harvesting and playing that game is not what we do, and we better learn how to play it soon because we're going to continue to lose races if we don't.
All right, but did did all the discussion about election fraud keep some Republicans, and maybe a big chunk of Republicans, from believing that their vote would count and therefore they didn't?
I think that is the case.
So does that message have to change?
Oh, very much so. Yes.
Now the problem is, for Republicans, is that once you've marketed an idea and spread it as thick and wide as it's been spread, it's very hard to get away from that.
Yeah. And I think it comes down to, how do we show that our elections are not being stolen, that there is integrity, there is accountability? How do we show that? And that comes down to, really, what are our counties doing? And it's a very individual basis. It's a very county by county basis. Every county registrar, and I can't say the Vegas guy's doing a very good job of it right now, every county registrar has to be much more accountable and transparent in showing how they're getting those votes counted and what is their process. And let's focus on that process right there of counting the votes and how it's happening.
Did you read the Joe Gloria article in the Review Journal, his exit article? I thought he laid it out pretty well.
Well, I guess he has. He doesn't really inspire, to me, confidence that we should have in the elections, but...
What would he have had to have said to inspire?
Well, I mean, I guess just all of us, that staff, felt threatened, and we felt that, and they've said that up in here. Jamie Rodriguez said the same thing here, that there were death threats and this
Barbara
and that.
Sagaski wouldn't come on the program, not because she doesn't like me or the program, but she said, you know, I am concerned about the death threats that have come to me and my family, and I just don't want to be out in front of this.
Yeah, yeah. I think we've just got to get. I don't know. That's a big lift to change that message. When you've had election deniers now for two cycles. Yeah.
And so do you think we're done with that?
I think we have to work on that message.
Okay, let's take a break. More with Randi Thompson when we come back.
Oh, what fun it is to win during the $100,000 Christmas giveaways at Tamarack Casino. Up to $17,000 in cash and free play giveaways each week, and over $20,000 in giveaways on New Year's Eve, including up to $10K in cash. Your good times are at Tamarack Casino.
Pro Group Management is the place where companies can find workers' comp solutions that are designed to meet their specific business requirements. As regulations evolve, Pro Group takes a proactive approach to clear the path to make sure your business stays ahead of the curve. Knowing your workers' comp program is optimized, you can focus on other important matters related to your growing business. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
Modern boutique Ahern Hotel and Event Center sits at the heart of the Las Vegas Strip. 2 floors of meeting and event space are ideal for groups and conventions. Stay in one of 200 luxurious rooms and suites. Brand your event throughout the property. Flexible event spaces make for easy planning and personalization. Take over the entire hotel with a full buyout option.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Ring in the holidays with $350,000 big holiday extravaganza at Carson Valley Inn. Over 1,000 winners. Weekly cash, free play, and up to $10K in cash every Saturday. And 2 grand prize drawings. Win up to $20,000 in cash. 'Tis the season for winning big at the Carson Valley Inn.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we continue our conversation with Randi Thompson. She's the Nevada State Director for the National Federation of Independent Business.
For only 1 more month.
And then?
I am retiring from lobbying.
From lobbying?
Mm-hmm. 30 years, dude. I'm done. Yeah.
So what is the future holding for you?
Oh, I have 3 other clients I'm going to focus on. I've got 3 other businesses I do, but I think it's funny because I was texting Ryan Irwin. I told him I'm leaving NFIB. He's like, fine, I get you a Republican governor and you quit. I'm like, yeah, that doesn't help balance out a very Democrat legislature. So yes, I am done as of the end of the year from NFIB as well as Nevada Firearms.
Okay.
And whatever else I do on the lobbying side.
Okay, so, Northern Nevada Network?
I'm keeping that. Yeah, that's my focus, that. And then I do a lot of advocacy work. And then Steve and I still have 3D Keepsake, our little prenatal imaging business. So No.
Okay, so you're not retiring from all
I'm not
that.
retiring from life, just from lobbying.
Will you still come down and see us in Carson City?
Yes,
Okay.
I already promised Alexis and Ira. I did a call with them last week, and I said I'm going to come down, but I'm not going to wear a badge.
Redistricting. Some people, like Dina Titus, used very strong language to say how displeased she was with redistricting, but still kicked butt despite everything. What do you think that says to you about Southern Nevada?
I think it's becoming such a stronghold for the Democrats. I mean, all three of those. Well, again, our fault. We should have focused on April Becker and not on Sam Peters and Mark Robertson. We should have just focused on that one race. And how Stephen Horsford keeps getting elected, I just don't get. But we should have. I'd love to get John Lee to run against Horsford. That would be my dream. But we've got to stay focused. We're spreading ourselves way too thin. Let's focus on one race. Let's focus on, and that's what the Democrats do. And we're looking at the Democrat book and tearing out the pages and burning them instead of reading it. The blueprint that did in Colorado. I mean, there's so many examples of how you win over a state and turn it one way or the other, and we're just not following that. And that starts at the top. If we don't get new leadership within the Republican Party, we're doomed in this state, and I'm going to say at both county levels as well. But instead of just focusing on all three races, we should have just focused on Dina's race specifically.
You mean April's race?
I mean, sorry, April's race. Yeah, sorry, April Becker's race. Yeah.
Okay, so you're part of the Michael McDonald Must Go.
Oh yes,
group.
I'm all for that.
It's been years since the state Republican Party has had any real influence on how things are run by Republicans in the state.
Yeah, we just circumvent them. Yeah,
right.
And we'll continue to do that. We'll continue to build little groups of workers that go around the state party.
Okay, but the other part that I see is that there's no bench. Jackie Rosen is going to be up for re-election in 2024. Who's your top three candidates to run against her?
Sam Brown, Tony Grady, Mark Hutchison. There's the top three. Yeah. Oh, I think we have a good bench. I think we have a strong bench of candidates.
Tony Grady is very impressive.
Yeah.
For those that didn't see it, you can go to our website, and at the bottom of the home page, there's a search box. Put in Tom Brady.
Tony Grady.
I'm sorry, Tony Grady.
Because Tom Brady's done. Yeah. After last night's game, Brady's done. Okay.
And watch the show that we did with him.
Yeah, he's a
very
guy.
impressive man. Mark Hutchison, do you think he still because at one point he was looking at running for governor, but instead turned his attention to raising funds for Lombardo, and it was his group that put in a huge amount of money into that race.
Yep.
I think made the difference, don't you?
Yeah, I think he might be enjoying being the kingmaker instead of the king himself. So I think he might continue to dabble, and understand too he's doing a lot of work in Utah now anyway. So, but yeah, I think Mark's still very active. If he wants to run, he could probably run. But I think between Sam Brown and Tony Grady, you've got two really good candidates who've already expressed interest in running against Rosen, and I think either of them can beat her because I think they're both very strong candidates.
Interesting. Going back to the Dina's situation, it was interesting to me that she always runs tough, but the size of the win was surprising considering the redistricting.
Yeah. Well, that just shows you how the Democrats got their voters out, and the independents swung more blue than we expected this year. We thought there would be a lot less enthusiasm for the Democrats just because of the way they were giving everything away. And I think that's another thing we need to learn is, gee, when you're in power, you can promise all kinds of things to get voters out. Hey, free college, and just you name it, the Democrats are throwing it at it.
Doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah.
I mean, I try to explain to
yeah.
people there's a huge difference between running for office and governing.
Yeah.
They are not connected. They're two completely different things. April Becker, if you were her advisor, what would you say to her? Because she is a very smart lady and could do wonders for the Republican Party in this state. Does she run again against Susie Lee, or do you see another role for her?
I think it's kind of up to her. She is.
Well, of course it's up to her.
Really, no, I should say. But I've listened to her
let me
talk.
call her and tell her.
It's up to her in the sense of emotionally. She is so emotionally engaged in running for office, And when you listen to her talk about, she almost gets teary-eyed talking about why she wants to be in Congress, why she wanted to be in the legislature. She wants to make a difference. I don't see her going anywhere if she doesn't drain herself out. And that's the only concern I have, is that she is so impassioned about running and making a difference. And just, can she keep that? Can she recharge and come back at it again? I think she should run again, and I think we should just focus on her race.
Okay, so run in CD3 again.
Yeah.
The John Lee, you brought him up. And of course, John Lee has been a friend of this show forever, as a Democrat and as a Republican. What do you see next for John Lee? Because he's not the kind of guy that's going to just fade away.
I would love him to actually run for the state party chairman. I think he could bring a whole new life to the state party, and he brings in a lot of new enthusiasm. He brings a lot of those disenfranchised Democrats who are fiscal conservatives and socially conservatives, but aren't willing to, kind of go that route. But to me, John, I just adore John. He's pro-business, he's pro-life, he's pro-gun. He's your typical independent, like Nevada, like Harry Reid used to be, in the sense of he just paves his own path. And I think he'd bring a great, I think he'd be really a fun element to being the new chairman of the state party.
Do you think he made a mistake in switching from being a Democrat to a Republican?
No, I wish he'd done it a long time ago. Yeah, it's kind of like when Jim Santini ran for the Senate in '86, because I worked on that campaign, and he waited until like the very last day before he switched parties. He should have switched, years ago. And everyone always joked about how John was a Republican to begin with, so he was always one of those typical conservative Democrats. So, yeah, I'm not giving him up on him though. I'm hoping he's going to stick around.
Well, he's not going anywhere. That's for darn sure. I will give him a call. All right, let's take a break. We'll be back more with Randi Thompson after this.
Pro Group Management specializes in providing industries with the necessary components to satisfy and exceed workers' comp requirements. Every business has unique needs and specific regulations. Pro Group Management stays ahead of the curve, providing up-to-date services to keep your industry in top form. Discover how we simplify your tasks, improve efficiency, and reduce expense to keep you moving in a positive direction. Pro Group Management, workers' comp that works for you.
As you know, Reno is booming. Toll's development company is helping it grow with insightful design and development, building community with every project, adding beauty, adding excitement, emphasizing our shared humanity. Reno is becoming bigger. Toll's development is helping it become better, more livable, more enjoyable. To learn more, go to tollsdevelopment.com. tollsdevelopment.com.
Truck drivers are some of the hardest working people you'll meet, delivering over 70% of America's freight and 92% of Nevada's. When there's a natural disaster, they're delivering critical supplies to help those communities recover and rebuild. Every sector of the economy and our nation's military rely on truck drivers. So let's take a moment to say thank you. On the open road or city streets, our truck drivers are rolling to make our economy and our nation stronger. Trucking moves America forward.
Hi, I'm Renee Summerauer, digital news anchor here at 7 at 7. Watch our streaming nonstop newscast immediately with your mobile phone. 7 at 7 is the new way for you to get every bit of local news you need in just 7 minutes. Breaking news, local neighborhood news, weather, and sports are just a click away. Reporters bring you all of what's happening in the Valley. From Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, YouTube, and more. Get every bit of local news you need from the RJ and LVRJ.com.
This is Nevada Newsmakers.
And back on Nevada Newsmakers, we're here with short-timer Randi Thompson. She's only got another month left with the Nevada State Director of the National Federation of Independent Business. I can't even say it. I've gotten so emotional about this. So, you understand marketing better than most people I know in politics.
Okay, thank you for that.
It's true, because you're a businesswoman and you understand marketing. To me, and I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks on the show, it seems that campaigns are not about marketing, and they should be, because it would be a lot easier to be successful if you were marketing and directing to the voter what it is that's going to benefit them rather than what's going to benefit you.
You're channeling Chuck Muth right now, because Chuck said this the other night on a call.
Thank goodness it wasn't. I read it in one of his newsletters, which I love, by the way.
Yeah. No, it's messaging. Our messaging sucked this cycle. I mean, if you could have just had that plane leaving Afghanistan and just showing that and just saying, if this is what you want to continue doing, then vote for Masto. I mean, we had the messaging all teed up for us between the border, between Afghanistan, between the riots. I mean, we had so many things we could have run on. And is this the society that you want? Then go ahead and vote for the same old thing. But we didn't do that. You know, we got lost up. And I think Laxalt specifically very underplayed the whole Roe v. Wade thing. I think that he has said time and again in press conferences that he would not support a federal ban on abortion. If he had just done that in that, I think he probably could have won. So it is about marketing, and it's about, what are you going to do for me? Bottom line, what are you going to do for me?
And I don't think that either party has done a good job with that. It's not just Republicans. I think Democrats, it's all about, no, she's bad, he's bad, they're bad, it's awful.
It got so negative.
But it's like little kids. It's arguing over nothing. And the messages all get lost because it's meh. It's crazy. Randi Thompson, I love you. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we'll see you in Carson City.
Well, I'll be there without a badge on.
And we'll be right back.
Save money and take transit. Did you know you can ride the bus all day for less than what it would cost you for a gallon of gas? Plan your trip now by going to rtcwashoe.com.
Imagine a magical garden that feeds Carson City's hungry and homeless, teaches our high school students agriculture, creates hanging floral displays to beautify downtown, and yet charges nothing. It's not magic. It's the Greenhouse Project. It's real, it's growing, and it needs your help. Go online to carsоncitygreenhouse.org so together we can grow it forward.
Like a traditional handmade basket, retail is woven into the fabric of life in Nevada. From big box to mom and pop, retail supports our communities in countless ways. Jobs for the disabled, team uniforms for kids, help for the elderly, and so much more. Retail employs over 1 in 10 workers. Retail supports Nevada, and we support retail.
RANNV.org.
What do you count on? You count on your power every day. At NV Energy, we've always powered what's important to you, but we're not looking at the past. We're focused on the future. While our standards are high, our rates will remain low. And our commitment to renewables isn't just meeting standards, but leading the way. Because you can count on more than just your power. You can count on the company who brings it to you. That's our promise. You can count on it.
Each day, the Children's Advocacy Alliance partners with leaders, legislators, and families across Nevada to improve children's health, education, economic well-being, and safety. We recognize Nevada will be no better than the state of its children. Be a part of this change. Be a supporter of the Children's Advocacy Alliance. For more information, go to caanv.org.
As always, you can watch Nevada Newsmakers 24 hours a day at NevadaNewsmakers.com. See you on the next show.